Hello, I'm Tammy Benham-Deal, Vice Provost at the University of Wyoming. I'd like to welcome you to the first installment of the Office of Academic Affairs briefings on our COVID-19 fall return plan. This session will focus on our first-year seminars, commonly referred to as FYS. As part of the University of Wyoming's phased return plan, nearly all of our fall classes will begin online in Phase 1, which is from August 24th through September 4th. Phase 2 begins on September 7th, when our freshman students will return to campus to begin their in-person experience. In this briefing, we'll explore the FYS. We'll talk about why it's important. We'll visit with a couple of our FYS instructors who will tell you just a little bit about their classes. And we'll talk about our new 1 credit hour tuition-free service course. First, I'd like to introduce you to our panel and ask them to tell you just a little bit about themselves. Let's begin with Allison Gernant. Allison?
Thanks, Tammy. Good morning, everyone. My name is Allison Gernant. I'm an assistant lecturer in the Learn programs and in the English department, and I'm the coordinator of the first-year seminar programs here on campus. I grew up in Worland, Wyoming, and I've been teaching first-year seminars for 6 years. This will be my 6th time. Thank you.
Our next panel member is April Heaney. April?
Hi, everyone. I direct the Learn program at UW. That's an acronym for Learning Resource Network. And we oversee a lot of the programs that you might be part of or might want to check out in your first semester. We oversee the first year seminar, first year experience, Cowboy Connect, Fall Bridge, first year interest groups. So we have a host of programs that might be exciting to you, and I'll tell you a bit more about them in a few minutes.
Thanks, April. Our next panelist is Emily Inez. Emily?
Hello, my name is Emily Inez. I'm a senior in the Animal and Veterinary Science department. I have been working with the Bridge program with April for 4 years now as a peer mentor, and this year I am serving as a senior peer mentor, and I am originally from Southern California.
Thanks, Emily. Our next panelist is Todd Cornish.
Hello, I'm Todd Cornish. I'm a professor in the Department of Veterinary Sciences, a pathologist at the Wyoming State Vet Lab. I've been teaching first-year seminars for 6 years and taught a class similar to that for 10 years before that. Really looking forward to a good fall semester, and thank you for watching.
Thanks, Todd. Our next panelist is Steve Barrett. Steve. Oops, Steve, you're on mute.
Hi, everyone. I'm Steve Barrett. I'm the Associate Vice Provost for Undergraduate Education. I work with amazing teams of faculty and staff across the university, and what we all have in common is that we deeply care about students and provide for your care and services and tutoring and so on. I've taught first-year seminars for many years, and this year I'll be coordinating the 1 hour service course you'll be hearing about shortly.
Thanks, Steve. And our last panelist is Ann Alexander. Ann.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ann Alexander. I'm the interim provost and vice president for academic affairs here at UW, and I teach a first year seminar and have for the past 3 years.
Great. Well, let's jump right in. Allison, let's throw the first question to you. Can you tell us what the FYS is?
Sure, Tammy. All students at the University of Wyoming enroll in a first-year seminar, either in the fall or the spring of their first year. So these classes are small, generally about 20 students, so it's an academically intimate group. Students will get to know their instructors well, their peers. We talk about transitioning to college, transition skills, as well as focusing on critical and creative thinking. Students also, in every first-year seminar, complete a significant research project. And what else did I want to say? I think it's a really special class, a very interesting class, because students come away many times and say that they've established relationships with that instructor and with their peers that last the entire time they're at the university. This fall, for example, we have over 80 sections of very, very different first-year seminars that students have chosen from.
Well, thanks, Allison. I imagine the FYS is a great course for our freshmen to take because it's in some ways a little bit still like high school, where you're going to have a cohort of friends and classmates that, like you say, are going to come to the class every day. They're going to get to know one another, and probably throughout their entire time here at UW, they'll stay connected with some of the students that they meet during that first semester. So it sounds like an exciting class. April, let's move to you. Can you tell us a little bit about why you think FYS is important?
Sure, Tammy. So you guys will figure this out pretty quickly in your first year seminar, but it's as Allison said, it's a unique class in your first semester where you may have a lot of large classes, but this one is small. 90% of universities and colleges in the US offer these first year seminars for their incoming students and transfer students to help them really learn a little bit about the campus culture, academic expectations, and have that chance to explore topics, current issues with a professor who's really invested in first year students and helping your first semester be full of finding networks on campus, digging into topics. So our goal really is to help you see in your first year some of the experiences that you might have more in your senior year when you're in your major and you're really digging into some of those issues that you're going to grapple with in your career. So we want to bookend those experiences and help you glimpse that in your first semester too. And I'm going to turn it over to Emily Inez, who will tell you a bit more from a student perspective and a peer mentor.
Thank you, April. For myself, I loved my FYS and I thought it was a great place to build a community on campus. And working with other FYSs for the past 3 years, I've seen that time and time again. It's also an amazing opportunity for you to do a really cool research project where you will combine a lot of the resources we have on campus, whether it's just the library and all of the resources they have there, the writing center, the oral communication center, and you really do form a connection with those students that's in your class, and you can go back to them years and years after.
Thanks, Emily. I imagine our audience might be a little interested about the research project that you completed when you were in your FYS. Can you tell us just a little bit about that?
Of course. My FYS was focused on autobiographies. So we read an autobiography of someone who inspires us and took them and researched their life, looked into the challenges they had, and then compared it to ourselves and sort of thought about what kind of autobiography we could write so far in our lives at 18 years old. It was really introspective and it was really, really fun.
Great. Thank you. So Todd, I'm going to swing over to you. Can you tell us a little bit about the FYS course you're going to be teaching this year?
Sure, be happy to. So in my first year seminar, which is called One Health, 0 Degrees of Separation, we sort of had two big overarching topics that we like to hit. And the first would be something we've already alluded to. How do you transition from high school to college and do it well and be successful? And we spend a fair bit of time talking about resources that are available, you know, some that we've already discussed. So the Wellness Center and Counseling Center and tutoring and outdoor adventures and clubs and organizations. And we talk about how do you connect with those opportunities and resources? How do you take advantage of them? How do you get the most out of them? And so a little bit of time on transitioning to college and doing it well, because not everybody comes from a family where college is a longstanding tradition. We have a lot of first generation college students. We have a lot of college students that are coming from junior colleges, which are a little bit different. We have a lot of people that have come to colleges whose siblings have never gone to college. So that's a big part of it. The second part of it is turning you into a critical thinker and somebody that knows how to find information and vet information as to accuracy and reliability and credibility, and then use information in developing arguments and positions that you can support factually. And we do that by allowing students to select their own research projects. And in my class, One Health, we're looking at projects that are related to human health, animal health, and environmental health. And so the topics that students have come up with in my class over the years have been really, really amazing. Everything from honeybee colony collapses to beetle, drought, and fires killing forests, to infectious diseases like Ebola virus, and clearly now COVID, to light pollution and plastic pollution in oceans. And all of these things are related to the health of us, humans, animals, and the environment. And I facilitate ways for my students to communicate directly with experts in those fields and rely upon those experts to help them come up with research plans and research questions and vet their information. And sometimes they make videos with those experts, and those experts are on campus in the state of Wyoming, in the US, and sometimes as far abroad as India and China and Russia and New Zealand. So it's a really fun class. Really opens freshmen, first year students' eyes to what they can do and what they can think about and questions they can ask, and the resources that are going to be available to them to answer those questions.
Sounds like a great class. And I'm going to swing over to Ann Alexander to tell us a little bit about her class, because I'm interested in maybe if there's an expert in Iceland who, Todd, you might actually connect with Ann to be introduced to, so that maybe one of your students can look at what's happening in Iceland and maybe the pandemic, who knows. And your first year seminar combines study abroad with your first year seminar. I'm sure our audience would really be interested in hearing about your class too.
Yeah, absolutely. My first year seminar is called Viking Economics. I teach it with one of the Education Abroad advisors, Sarah Robinson, and we look at the Vikings as social innovators, as naval engineers, as entrepreneurs, and as explorers. And we do go to Iceland, usually in August, but this year we're going to be going early in the spring. And Iceland is a really interesting case right now. They did a very different response to the pandemic from what we did. And so they've had pretty good luck with that. So Todd, that would be an interesting connection to make. But the Vikings were an interesting crowd, of course. They went all over the place. They went to Russia, they went to North Africa, they went to Byzantium. They were the bodyguards for the Byzantine Empire. So they were all over the place. And of course, they explored North America and Greenland, as well as Iceland. In those explorations, they were not sent by a king. So colonialism was not the impetus, but rather pure exploration. So they were an interesting crowd, and of course everybody has their own ideas about what they did, but they were quite extraordinary in the fact that they were very, very gregarious compared to most people in the Middle Ages. So the major research that I have my students do is read some of the historical sagas. One of the things about a first year seminar is helping students understand the difference between fact and fiction. And the sagas are a wonderful mix of both. So they're an interesting exercise in helping our students wade through complicated information.
Sounds like a great course too. So to our audience, Dr. Alexander and Dr. Cornish are just two of a larger cohort of faculty who will be teaching you in these first year seminar courses. One of the unique things about the University of Wyoming is that our students, including our first year students, get to have many experiences in the classroom and in the research setting with our professors. Other universities often have a large percentage of their first year courses taught by graduate students. Here at UW, you're going to get firsthand knowledge with our faculty. Our next question is for Provost Alexander and Associate Provost Barrett. In our town hall last week, President Seidel issued a challenge to students to help determine the path UW will take this fall, and to contribute to our success as we battle the COVID pandemic. Can you tell us a little bit about this 1 hour tuition-free service course? Anne, let's start with you.
Yeah, absolutely. We're very excited about this. So just yesterday, our curriculum committee approved this course. And what you're going to look for is UWYO 1150. That course, it's titled Build the Future. And essentially what you will do in that course, is it's voluntary, of course, but it's also free. And what you can do is pull together a set of experiences that will help us become the university we want to be as we reopen. And so what you might be able to participate in are things like helping with our mobile testing sites, running data analyses for our contact tracers or for our testers, such as Dr. Cornish in the Wyoming State Vet Lab. There are a large array of opportunities that we're exploring, and our first year seminar instructors are invited to embed any of these kind of service components to help us build into the fall that we want to see with you. And so this course will be on the books very shortly, and we believe that it will be very successful and very popular. And we think that you can work with your faculty to build an experience that will be of use to you in your future, of course, for your employers, but will also be extremely useful for our community and your fellow classmates.
Steve, can you add to that explanation?
Yes, I just want to follow up on what Ann said. The course was approved just yesterday. So we're scrambling behind the scenes to get the details in place for you, but just I'll tell you what we know thus far and where we're heading. Again, as Ann said, it's a 1-hour course, tuition free by virtue of President Seidel. Our expectations are that you would contribute approximately 15 hours of service to the university. We encourage you to get involved. Service is so important. And I'll just mention, my parents planted the seed, you know, in their children that, you know, it's not about us, it's about serving others. And I personally know that when I'm feeling a bit down and tired, that I think, "Hi, who can I help?" And it just seems to just bring up my spirits immediately. We're starting to spread the word on this, and everybody we talk to across campus is so excited. And the comments are, well, can they help here and can they help there? And so I think there are going to be lots of opportunities to move the university forward during this pandemic. And our plan is to start collecting these service ideas, and we'll put them up in a place that's accessible to you. But we encourage you within your first year seminar to do some brainstorming on service ideas, but also that you should reach out and do things that are important to you. But more details to follow.
Thanks, Steve. And I've got a question back to you about this new exciting course. So you mentioned that it's tuition free, and we'll be providing additional information on how students can register for it. In one of our upcoming briefings, we'll be talking to Associate Vice Provost Kyle Moore and his team in the registrar's office and in admissions. But before we do that, let me ask you a question. So this 1 credit class, will information about it actually go on the student's transcript?
Yeah, great question, Tammy. It will show on your transcript. So future employers and graduate schools will be able to see it. In addition, we're going to explore putting it into our SOAR, S-O-A-R platform, which is our micro-credentialing platform. And it's an experiential transcript that you can take with you everywhere you go when you graduate. And so SOAR stands for Service, Opportunity, Access, and Research. And within that gamified system that we've built over the past couple of years, we will also embed some of the elements there, because service is the S in SOAR. So it'll be on your transcript, can be on your experiential transcripts, and employers are always looking for people who know how to tackle complex problems and who look for service to others above themselves. And that's exactly the kind of thing we hear from employers all the time. So we think this will be really good for you, just as it feels good to help others, as Dr. Barrett just said, and we think it will help you also in the long run become that much more exciting to an employer down the road.
Thanks. And in addition to employers, I know graduate programs often look for students who have engaged in service learning and civic engagement. So what a great opportunity for our students at the University of Wyoming. April, I mentioned at the beginning of this session that in phase 1, our students will be all online, including our first year students taking the FYS. And then they'll be in person when phase 2 begins. Can you tell us just a little bit about some of the resources and the support that our first year students, well, all of our students for that matter, will have available to them during phase 1 when they're online? You're on mute. It wouldn't be a Zoom session without at least telling 1 or 2 people that they're on
Thank
Zoom.
you, Tammy. My goodness, you'd think I'd know after all these months. So thank you. Yeah, I was just mentioning, you may have seen in your Cowboy Connect modules, there's a 3-minute video on a program called Step Tutoring and Supplemental Instruction. And this is a service that we offer for mostly 1,000 and 2,000 level courses. We have 60 to 70 courses and all subjects covered in our step tutoring. Supplemental instruction is an opportunity for you to meet with a student, an experienced student, who will be attending your class with you and leading weekly sessions to talk about content, concepts, and study skills. And you'll know if you have that supplemental instruction or SI because they'll be there, they'll talk about it, they'll invite you, but that'll be in several of your classes, and tutoring is available in almost all of them. So take a look at the STEP website. It's all available to you online, and then starting September 28th, also in person. And that's uwyo.edu/STEP. So please reach out if you have questions, and we look forward to seeing you in the center online.
Thanks, April. Well, our audience can certainly tell that we've got a lot of excitement amongst our first year seminar cohort here. And so I think we'll close out this briefing by asking each of our panel members to tell you just a little bit about what they're excited about for the fall 2020 freshman experience. So let's start with you, Allison.
Thanks, Tammy. I know I speak for most of us when I say that we're very excited to meet our students. We've been planning all summer and hoping that everyone's staying safe. The other thing I'm excited to see when my students arrive and as the semester unfolds is how they synthesize new ideas to develop innovative viewpoints. It's one of our outcomes we really want to see in our first year seminars. And I love to talk about synthesis when students are able to take ideas from seemingly disparate parts of their lives and their classes and their research and develop a new idea.
Great. April, how about you?
So I think I'm excited to be part of this moment in history with all of you incoming students. I know many of you have faced challenges because of the pandemic. Some of you are looking ahead to some challenges, but I'm excited that we're all in this together. Students who are here are saying how much of a bond they feel with our community and that we're gonna pull through together. And I'm excited in 4 years to see you all graduate and hear some of the ways that you were shaped by these early years. So welcome, we cannot wait to see you.
Thanks, April. Emily, what can you tell us about your readiness and acceptance and excitement about returning this fall?
I am so excited to meet another class of Bridge FYS students. And also, I'm super excited to graduate at the end of the semester. But more than anything, meet another group of FYS students and see how I can help them as a peer mentor and in a new challenging way this semester for sure.
Yeah, and so as you graduate with other students and in addition to all of our incoming students, as April indicated, you're going to have an experience that very few people will have had as a university student, and I'm sure that it's going to influence you and your career as you go forward in your life. So thanks for joining us. Todd, how about you?
Well, 2 things. I'm excited to work with students to make the best of this pandemic and use it as a really great teaching tool to instruct them about public health and One Health and how we work on infectious diseases across disciplines, and to get them engaged in hands-on opportunities to work with us in all of that. And then the second thing I'm really excited about is we forget. We teach students, but students teach us. We learn from students as much as we instruct them. And I'm kind of looking forward to how my first year students this year are coping with technology and distance learning, and staying sane and staying amused and entertained, because they'll have a lot to teach me that I think I'm going to have to use in my own personal life there. So excited about that.
Yeah, Todd, I think we all have a lot to learn, don't we? Steve, how about yourself?
I was out running errands a couple of evenings ago, and the stores are full of students, and it's so wonderful to see you out and about. Traffic has picked up tremendously in Laramie. It's busy, and I just smiled and thought, oh, they're back. I can't emphasize enough just how happy we are that you're back with us. You're going to be joining the UW community. We can't wait to see you in person.
Thanks, Steve. And we know that a number of our students are staying home during the first 2 weeks during the phase. So Steve's talking about largely students who may be back in town, who live in apartments, who live off campus. And we're looking forward then in phase 2 for our freshmen who will be joining us in the residence halls at that particular time. And I'm sure Walmart will be even busier when you return as well. And how about yourself?
I'm excited to see you and the light in your eyes, which I can still see on this screen, when you make a new connection with a fellow student, with an idea, with something that you just learned in someone else's class or in my class. I'm so excited to see you learn more about yourself and about the world around you. And I can't wait to see what we can learn from you. As Dr. Cornish said, during this time, you will have some really amazing lessons that you will bring to us. And I can't wait to see you.
Great. Well, you know, one of the main reasons the university wants to bring students back to our campus is to retain the culture of college life. We know that our incoming freshmen have already been stripped of some typical high school experiences, none the least of which is the graduation ceremony that your parents and your grandparents may have experienced. Let me assure you that the administrators, faculty, and staff here at UW are doing everything we can to prevent a similarly disappointing entry into college life. We want you here. We want you here in person. But you know, we can't do it without your help. The best way to ensure a successful in-person experience that lasts for the entire semester is to wear your mask, to socially distance, to avoid large gatherings like parties, and to practice good hygiene. Again, we're looking forward to seeing you soon. Go Pokes!